Hello everybody and welcome back to Evolving Vibes. I'm glad that you're joining me and I'm hoping that you enjoy the channel. If you do, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, hit that notification button if you will, in order to get notified when new content comes up. So today I was thinking about the next video I was going to do, and I wanted to do something for maybe baby witches, someone that hasn't been in the practice for very long. But along with that, I wanted to do something for perhaps someone that's been in the practice for a while and is looking for some new ideas or to get reinvigorated in your own personal practice. As I said before, one of the reasons I enjoy what I do in being a witch is because there really are no rules. There's no one that you have to answer to. There's no expectation that you have to follow. It's basically what resonates with you. And like with this video, whatever resonates, take with you. If nothing or something doesn't resonate with you, leave it behind, right? So to start off with, one of the things I wanted to talk about are daily rituals, things that we can do each and every day to put a little bit more magic into our day, a little bit more magic into our life. And I think also, as it does with me, helps us to just get a little bit more sense out of our day, a little bit more strength out of our day, definitely. So to start off with, one of the things I like to do almost every day is I light incense. Generally, I do this before I leave the house, a little sip of tea. And I do this definitely when I come home at the end of my shift. I work a 3 to 11 shift, so I usually get home around midnight or so, which is perfect for me because I tend to do a lot of later night things with my own practice as well as earlier morning things. But lighting incense for me is a very cleansing ritual. It cleanses the ear, it cleanses my environment, and more importantly, it cleanses my frame of mind and how I'm going to perceive things as well as how I'm going to absorb things. So I do a lot with incense. Usually I light incense up before I'm getting ready to leave for the night for work, and I'll cleanse myself with it, and then I leave it burned for my pets. And I go through each room with the incense as it's burning, just to cleanse each room from my day-to-day habits before leaving. Then when I come home at night, I get ready for bed, take a shower, all that good stuff, and then I light an incense, and it helps me to get into that mode for meditation and to consider some of the things that I've learned from my day, as well as some of the messages and lessons I need to absorb for my day, which I'll get into a little bit further. So that's one of the things that I like to do with incense, and obviously I use it for any type of ritual work and spell magic that I might be doing on any given day. One of the more important things that I do, and I think it's important for everyone, is get out of bed, make your bed. I do that as a ritual because for my frame of mind, it's starting my day fresh. It's completing a whole process of the overnight and sleeping, but along with that, it's cleansing my space and cleansing myself. Even if it's something ever so slightly as making the bed, it just really does something for me, and it really resonates with me. So the very first thing I do when I get out of bed, even before I make my coffee, as soon as I get out of bed, I make my bed and it's done, and then I start and move forward with the rest of my day. And some people actually say, hey, it's good to do because you've accomplished your first task of the day and now you're ready to take on each and every task after that. I don't go to it as deeply. I do it because it's cleansing my personal space, but if it resonates with you, do it for whatever reason it resonates with you for. The other thing that I do quite a lot, and I do this because I'm an empath and because I'm a psychic, I do a lot of tarot readings and such, is I ground myself. And there's a lot of different ways of grounding yourself. You could talk probably to 24 witches, and each one will come up with ever so slightly different method of grounding oneself. And that's great because whatever resonates with you, as I always say, resonates with you, and you should do it. For me, I ground myself before work by going outside and walking around my yard. I'm fortunate enough to live, as you can see behind me, relatively deeper in the woods. So I get to go out there and just listen to nature, experience the sound of the trees, the branches, the leaves rustling in the wind, and just enjoy walking barefoot on the ground. And I do that quite a lot. Even in wintertime, I'll go out barefoot, with sandals on initially, but then I'll walk barefoot on the ground and just get a sense of grounding myself. And I might have said it before in a previous video, but I do have a favorite tree in my yard that I spend time with, and as I'm grounding, that's one of the areas that I go and really ground myself out. And I do that before going to work. It's like one of the last things I do before I'm getting ready to leave my house. Obviously, I come back in, put my socks on, and put my shoes on, but I ground myself daily before leaving. And then when I come home, I make a shower for myself. Now, one of the things that I do, and maybe it's something that you do, maybe it's something you want to do, I make my own soaps. So I have a lot of different soaps for a lot of different purposes. So one of the soaps I use for cleansing myself when I'm leaving work or when I'm home from work after my shift is actually use a sage and citrus type soap that I've blended together to cleanse myself, cleanse my aura, cleanse my energy, and just allow myself to get rid of all the day-to-days for that last 8.5 hours and get myself in a mindset and ready to meditate and to recharge myself overnight. You certainly can use anything that you want to use. As I said before, I make my own soap. It's something that resonates with me and I enjoy it, so that's why I do it that way. But certainly just washing after you've left work gets rid of all the energy you've been absorbing all day long and allows yourself that fresh, clean start and allows yourself to have that fresh mindset for the next thing that you want to do. And yeah, I do make it into a ritual. When I'm in the shower, I'm actually visualizing myself washing away all of that energy, negative or whatever it might be, just getting rid of it all and just allowing my own light and my own protective light to really refill me and surround me so that I'm recharged, I'm refreshed, and I'm ready to begin anew again. Whether it be going to bed and starting my adventures in bed as far as sleep, meditation, astral projection, whatever I might be doing that night, or whether it be getting ready to go back out and do a ritual outside or do a ritual at my altar. I personally like cleansing myself before I even do any rituals, and I know a lot of people that actually do. Another thing to consider doing is meditate. Meditating is one of the most important things you can do for self-care. There's so many benefits out of meditating, and it's really not that difficult to meditate. It just takes a bit of self-discipline and a little bit of practice. One of the things that you'll find on my channel under my playlists are some guided meditation and hypnosis recordings. I'm planning on doing more going down the road, so if you do have an idea or you do have a request for a specific guided meditation, definitely leave something in a comment and I'll look at it and consider it. And I generally write my own scripts for the meditation, and I've been making it around 25 to 35 minutes long, just so that it's enough time for you to really get in that relaxed state and really absorb whatever guiding process I'm doing. But whereas you don't have to take your whole day to do it, and they're great for doing it at lunchtime at work, and it's also great to do it at night before you go to sleep. So certainly meditation is a very key component to self-care. It allows you to cleanse yourself, clear your mind, and really try to absorb the messages from the universe that's been offered to you for that day. Another thing I like to do, and another thing that maybe you might want to consider doing, is paying attention to signs and paying attention to omens. We get them all the time, and sometimes we get ourselves in that mindset of we're too busy, we got to be focused on very specific tasks, so that we tend to blow off or overlook these signs or omens. So that's another important part of grounding, getting out there, clearing your mind, and just sort of looking for and feeling for and absorbing omens as well as synchronicities. Throughout our day, we could pick up signs from music that's coming on the radio, from numbers that we're seeing even at the fuel station or at the grocery store, or from wildlife, animals, birds, insects that may come across our path. If we're open to recognizing and seeing these omens or these signs or these synchronicities, we'll see them. If we close our mind to it, then yeah, we're not going to see it, we're going to overlook it. So certainly one of the things that you can get into the habit of actually doing is just that, looking and paying attention to what's happening around you and what's being offered to you, whether it be through music, through poetry, through inspirational quotes that you come across on one of the social media platforms, or whether it be from birds, from insects, from numbers that may come across your path. The more you're open to it, I promise you, the more you're actually going to see it. Another thing that I really enjoy doing is working with my altar. My altar is in my bedroom, which my altar is directly behind me. That salt lamp is the top portion of it. And I obviously have some statues. If you go back at one of my other videos, you'll see the altar tour, and I'll show you some of the things that are actually on my altar and what they mean to me. But I do love my altar. I do use it daily. I do daily tarot readings that you'll find obviously on this channel. You've probably come across them already. But I cleanse my altar every day before I do the readings, and I cleanse it obviously before I do any rituals. So having your altar, and it can be as simple as a candle and a statue, or a candle and a couple of little really sentimental objects, to something more elaborate, so like mine is. It's literally a dining room table that I've converted into an altar, because I have a lot of stones and I have a lot of other things that just vibe with me, so I made it part of that altar. And I upscaled it not too long ago, maybe like 3 months ago. I had a much smaller altar, and I really couldn't do any work on it. I definitely couldn't do tarot readings on there, or a lot of the other things that I like to do. So this actually works out so much better for me. But like I said, just cleansing your altar, working at your altar, even if it's something as simple as dusting it off, it's something that's going to resonate with you. It's going to hit that vibe, and it's going to help increase your vibe for the day. So certainly another aspect of a daily ritual that you could really get into and you could really enjoy. A few other things that I enjoy doing. One of them is I always dedicate about 15 minutes per day to research. Whatever is vibing with me that day is something that I'll research. A lot of times it's some form of pagan type topic, but other times it's not, but just spending 15 minutes a day piquing your interest in one very specific thing does a lot for oneself, does a lot for one's psyche. And again, it's just a daily ritual that once you start getting into, you'll actually see benefit of it. Now, some days it's pagan things like I said, but other days it's useless facts, because I do enjoy getting useless facts and remembering them and working into conversation and topics when I'm at work. So certainly it doesn't all have to be pagan type research. It can be anything. Now, if you're a newer witchy person, you're new to the craft, then it might benefit you to really doing some pagan research each and every day. Maybe looking at all of the 8 Sabbats, as one Sabbat is coming up, like Osara is coming up over the next few weeks, maybe researching Osara, what it's going to mean to you, what about it resonates with you, what about it doesn't, and then creating your own ritual for Osara. And again, that's just one aspect of it. Just looking at Ostara, looking at all the other 8 pagan rituals, and just sort of, I should say Sabbats, and just sort of trying to make it your own and customizing it for your own. Definitely a lot of fun to do, and definitely beneficial for you in the long run. Now, one of the other aspects, and it sounds sort of mundane, it sounds sort of like it goes without saying, but loving your family and your pets. And we all love our family. We all love our pets. But what I do mean by that is maybe each day I try to do something a little bit more special, or a little bit, one thing that's really special for them. Whether it be cleaning out the pet fountain, which is something I do just about daily, but adding spring water to it, or whether it be just giving them a little treat, giving them brush gloves, whatever it might be. And the same thing goes for the family. Leaving a little note, just saying something to make them feel special for that day, sending them an inspirational text. Just doing one thing each day to let someone that's close to you know that they're special to you, that you love them, can become a ritual that can pay dividends, but along with that, make you feel good about some of the other aspects of your day that may be a little bit disenchanting. Knowing that you've got this at home waiting for you because there's unconditional love is going to help you get through one of those really dry meetings that you're kind of feeling a little bit hated, right? So again, it's just something that helps us make the human experience a little bit more tolerable and a lot more fun. Another aspect to consider is candle magic and lighting a candle a day. I wouldn't say leave a candle unattended at home, certainly not, but you can light a candle each day for whatever your manifestation might be for that day. Maybe you have a meeting that you have to go to today, that you're going to be doing a presentation. In the morning, when you're getting yourself ready for your day, light a candle with the intent in there that you're going to knock them dead during that presentation, that you're going to feel comfortable speaking for others, and utilize your magic for the day-to-day aspects. I do candle magic during the day. Some of it is to make my shift go smoothly and efficiently, and sometimes it's to make sure I'm getting home on time. Other times it's for other reasons, but certainly it's something that's very powerful, and it's something that works quite well. Now, you can take candles that you buy at the store and use them. You can use the little tea candles. What I like to do personally is I take the little tea candles that are inside the tin, and I have a little air heater, and I also have, although I don't really need it so much, a hair dryer, and I'll use that on those tea candles to melt and soften the wax, and then I'll add specific herbs to those tea candles for my intent of manifestation and what I want. Once it starts to get back to a solid state, then I'll put my intent into it and I'll focus on it, and then I'll light it. The tea candles don't burn for very long, so it's perfect to do before you head out to work. You can set that candle up by melting down that wax and adding the herbs to it the night before even, or even have some go-to candles like I do. So I know this one's for positivity. I know this one's for protection. I know this one's for whatever it might be. I have them in my cabinet with my herbs, so I'll just grab one of those tea candles and focus that specific intent on the general intent of that candle, and then light it and let it burn out, and know that my manifestation has been sent into the universe. Very simple to do, and it's quite effective, and it's something that you can do on a daily basis if you'd like to do it. The other aspect is cleansing. Cleansing your space, cleansing yourself, cleansing your car. I do a lot with sage. I have a lot of sage. Both sage sticks, sage incense, and sage stick incense. And I'll cleanse myself with sage before I head out for my day. I'll cleanse my car. I'll walk around my car with sage before I head out to make sure that it's protected, to make sure that I arrive safely both at work as well as home, and to make sure that if there's any unexpected complications such as flat tires or anything like that, I'm going to arrive at a destination safely and not be stranded on the side of the road. And this stuff actually works. I'm telling you, the more you do, the more you'll see how it works. But I was driving back after surgery from Boston. A friend of mine was driving me back. And I literally just got out of surgery. And that was just about a month ago. And we had to stop and get my prescriptions for the night. And my tire started going flat. And it was going flat dramatically. Something in that parking lot at the drugstore punctured the tire. So, long story short, I always have that spell going on my car, but along with that, I have protection bags in my car. Made it completely back to the house and parked the car, and then the tire went flat. And again, I put all the credit on the universe and on my protection bags and the spell work I do on my car, which I really do focus on, making sure I don't break down somewhere on the side of the road, that I make it to any destination that I need to make to before the car's inoperable. And certainly it helped me that day. I was allowed to get home. As I said, I just had surgery, so I didn't have to deal with it. I just went directly to bed, took my meds, and slept for the next 9 hours. But certainly, again, things that we do, sometimes, as I said, you don't see the actual benefit of it right away, but that's the magic of the universe. But down the road, you'll see the benefit of it when you really need to see the benefit of it. And that, again, is the magic of the universe. Journaling's another great idea to do. I do a lot with journaling. I do a lot with writing. I think I said in my last video, when we were talking about grimoire props, that I really, really do like writing. I do like that whole ritual of writing. The paper, the pen, the way that feels. The way the paper feels after that ink's been absorbed into the paper. It's all wonderful. So to me, journaling makes sense. In fact, as I look down to grab my tea for a sip, I'm looking at some notes that I put in my journal to make this video. And so certainly you can use your journaling for anything you want. It can be about your day. It can be about thoughts of your day. It can be about lessons that you may have learned from your day. It can be about anything you want it to be about. Nothing is sacred until you make it sacred. That's the best part of magic. There's nothing special, there's nothing sacred until you yourself, that which makes it special or makes it sacred. So certainly whatever you want to journal, that's all up to you. If you want to keep 5 different journal books, have at it. Whatever makes you happy, whatever rings that bell, go for it. It's all about you and your own practice. And as I said before, that's my practice. I enjoy journaling, something that I like to do. Now, another thing you may want to get into, especially if you're a new witch, if you haven't started doing it yet, it's a good time to start, is getting into divination. I use tarot cards quite a lot, but I also use crystal ball, which is actually on my altar, and I also do other forms of divination. But one thing I love to do is pulling a card. I literally just pulled this off the top of the deck, so to me, I wasn't focusing on anything, so it really doesn't have any meaning right now. But I pull a tarot card in the morning. You see me do that every day because I'm actually recording it, and then I post it on YouTube and I post it on Instagram. But that's the card energy for the day that I post. And I use that energy, and I use what I'm saying in there as a guide for my day. And I've never been disappointed. It's always been some way or form coming through. Now, what you don't see and what I don't record is every night when I come home, I go to my altar after I've been out of the shower, after I've got myself ready for bed, and I pull another card. And that card is to inform me of the lessons I want to walk away and get into bed with from my day. Helps me with meditation as well, because I'll meditate on whatever messages is coming through from that card reading that I'm actually doing before I go to bed, about my lessons for the day and about what I needed to walk away from the day with. So certainly you can put tarot center stage in your magical practice, because you can utilize it for spells, you can utilize it for your daily forecast like I do with my daily readings, and then you can utilize it for your daily lesson, things that you want to walk away from your day with, things you may want to meditate with on your night. Either way, it works great. I swear by it. It's something that I've been doing for a very long time, and it's something that I'm never not going to do. So working with tarot is definitely a ritual that really rings my bell, and I do it all the time. But along with that, any other type of divination is something that's good for you to do. And as I said, scrying into a crystal ball or into water or into a mirror is something that's awesome. I do quite a lot. I tend to use my crystal ball on new moons and on full moons mostly, but I do use it here and there when it calls out to me to go on and to use it. But along with that, using a pendulum. When you have either a very simple question you want answered, or something that's a yes or no that you want to look at as a response, you can use your pendulum. You can use your pendulum with a spirit board to get messages across as well. It's all up to you. You can use your pendulum to help you find things. It's worked for me, looking for my keys or looking for my wallet or my license around the house, because I've got a cockatoo who loves hiding things and taking anything that blings, and I've got a couple of cats. One of them, my little black cat named Loki, lives up to his name, and he is the god of chaos. So he's always hiding things on me. So I have used my pendulum to help me find things that one of my kids, my fur and feather babies, hid from me, and it's worked each and every time. So it's certainly something that you can put into your daily practice as well. The other thing, if you've looked at my Book of Shadows, you've actually, so my grimoire, whatever you want to call it, one of the things you've probably seen me do quite a lot is sigils. I have a lot of sigils in my book, and I do a lot with sigils. If I've got something very specifically going on that day, I'll create a sigil for it. And wherever I need to put that sigil is where I'll put that sigil. Now, one of the magical things about sigils is you can keep sigils in your Book of Shadows, in your grimoire, and have go-to sigils for very specific meanings. Like I have some for protection, I have some for a lot of other things. However, maybe you've heard this before, maybe you haven't. But one of the ways of working with sigils is creating a very specific sigil for your very specific intent, creating it, drawing it, activating it, and forgetting about it. So not recording it, not keeping it, and just letting it go into the universe that way. So I use sigils both those ways quite a bit. And some of my sigils will come to me when I'm at work doing something, focused on something, and I need to get something a little extra from the universe. That sigil will come to me, I'll draw it, I'll activate it, and I'll put that energy out into the universe, and invariably, I'm never disappointed. So it's certainly just another idea for you to do. The other thing to consider are talismans, charm bags, whatever really rings your boat. You can create your own talisman to wear for work, for going out, for whatever it might be you're doing. You can make them very specific for occasions. When you're finished with that occasion, you can keep that talisman, or you can send it off into the universe by offering it to a fire, by bringing it to running water and letting it go into that water, whatever it is you do that makes your practice your own. Same thing goes with spell bags. I said a little bit earlier with my car, I've got a very specific spell bag in there that I created for my vehicle to be safe, for my occupants to be safe, for anyone that's driving my car to be safe, and for my vehicle to make it to and from destinations without breakdowns on the side of the road. It's worked marvelous with me. I've been doing that for years and years and years with all my cars, and it works great. I do take that spell bag out and I recharge it on the full moon, and I do put my intent back into it, and I put it back in my car. Certainly something you can do with bags for yourself to carry, for your family, for your friends, whomever it might be. I have spell bags hanging in my house. I have one at each one of my doors that I've created, and they stay there, and again, I recharge them on the full moon. So different options that you have for different ways of making your practice your own. Same thing goes with jewelry. I have jewelry, I have my rings that I wear on a daily basis, and again, those are things that I enchant every full moon to be dedicated to myself, to protect me, to protect my energy, and to allow me the ability to see with my third eye more easily. Certainly something you can do as well. So long story short, it's going to be a 30-minute video for today. These are just some ideas for you to make your practice your own. Some ideas to make each and every day magical by incorporating rituals into it. You don't have to put 24 rituals into it. You can just put one into it. But whatever resonates with you is what you should actually do. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Also, let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you might want to see. And until the next video, please be safe, be well, and as always, be blessed. And I will see you on the flip side.